Hey guys, and welcome back. This is Cadash for the PC Engine, which is also available in the US for the TurboGrafx-16, and is a port of the arcade game of the same name released by Taito a little bit earlier. In Cadash, you choose one of the 4 selectable starting characters, including the sword-wielding fighter, the magic-casting wizard, the priestess, and of course the ninja, which can toss throwing stars. All the characters in Cadash are fairly well balanced, although I can say with confidence that the wizard character is easily the toughest one to play through the game with, while the priestess and the ninja are definitely the easiest, being that they have the longest attack range. What you'll be doing in Cadash is basically running from town to dungeon to town to dungeon again, and fighting your way through several different bosses, collecting items, leveling up, and stopping at different stores and inns to either replenish your health or buy new items and gear. Each enemy defeated in Cadash does reward you with experience that will go towards leveling up your character. Luckily, the enemies do respawn almost immediately, kind of like a Mega Man game almost, and it does allow the player the ability to kind of grind up some extra XP if you wanted to go ahead and level your character early on. Doing some early grinding is actually a pretty good idea, especially in the first dungeon to get a couple levels under your belt, since it'll make the next few bosses and the next few dungeons much easier to deal with. You're also going to want to make sure that when you're in town, speak to every townsperson you can. There are some people in the towns that will give you vital information and or keys for the upcoming dungeons that, without speaking to them, you'll be completely stuck when you get into the dungeon and then have to find your way all the way back out just to go find the person that you didn't talk to begin with. Buying new and upgraded gear is actually one of the coolest parts of Cadash, in my opinion, especially for an older action game like this one. The cool thing is when you buy new equipment and or weapons or armor or whatever it is you may need to upgrade for your character, it does physically change the appearance of your character and can even add some effects to the weapons. Like, for example, the upgraded sword for the fighter will end up actually shooting fireballs at enemies, which is really useful later on. Thankfully, gear isn't the only thing that you can purchase for your character in the towns. On top of that, you can also visit the items shop, where you can buy healing items that will be applied to your character when you would normally die. So instead of dying, it'll give you a little bit of a health boost, and they definitely help as far as getting out of a dungeon in one piece. The graphics in Cadash on the TurboGrafx and PC Engine are really good. Everything is very vibrant and colorful. All of the dungeons look almost completely different, and all of the enemies and NPCs are very large and well animated, and the whole game just looks expertly done, much better than the Sega Genesis port, which looks a lot darker and only allows for 2 of the playable characters as opposed to the TurboGrafx and PC Engine's 4. The sound and music in Cadash is also excellent. It really adds to the presentation of it. All of the music in the game is extremely memorable and well done, and all of the sound effects sound fantastic. It definitely really pulls the entire package together and makes for an extremely memorable and well executed experience. The control scheme in Cadash works pretty well, and it's also really simple. It only requires 2 buttons, and the first button would obviously be used to attack, while the second button would be used to jump. This is one of those games where you're going to want to take advantage of your turbo switch when it comes to attacking, since it makes dealing with the bosses a lot less painful on your hands than mashing that button over and over and over again. So it's definitely nice to have a PC Engine or TurboGrafx controller with a turbo slider for this one. So, to sum up, Cadash on the PC Engine and TurboGrafx is a tremendous game. It's a ton of fun to play, and it has a lot of replay value, especially being that there are 4 different selectable characters, and you have the ability to level up and change out your weapons, and it even has a 2-player cooperative mode, just like the arcade original. I highly, highly recommend Cadash to any TurboGrafx-16 or PC Engine owner who's looking for a really fun action RPG experience, and one that can even be played with a friend. It may not be that cheap. I think a copy of it now runs for about $20 or so online, but it's worth every penny, and in my opinion is one of the best games on the TurboGrafx-16 and PC Engine. As always, guys, thank you all for watching and subscribing, and until next time, stay classic.